Recognized.
Let me thank my colleague from Texas for yielding. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues posted on the Speaker of the House's website at this moment is a document entitled A New Direction for America. In this document, the following statement is highlighted. Bills should generally come to the floor under a procedure that allows open, full, and fair debate consisting of a full amendment process that grants the minority the right to offer its alternatives. Last November, when Democrats were preparing to take control of this chamber, I appreciated something that Speaker Pelosi said, and I quote, "The issue of civility, the principle of civility and respect for minority participation in this House is something that we promised the American people. It is the right thing to do. And I set forth over a number of years now principles of civility and respect for minority rights. And we intend to implement them."
Will the House please come to order? The gentleman deserves to be heard. Gentleman, proceed.
This statement was made almost a year ago at a press conference on November 20th, 2006. Now let's contrast those statements that were made and with what took place last night in the Rules Committee. 7 Republican amendments were offered to the bill that we're about to debate. None made in order, including a bipartisan amendment offered by Mr. Garrett of New Jersey. 13 Democrat amendments were made in order. Now, the last time the flood insurance bill was on the floor of the House, which was in the 109th Congress, 6 Democrat amendments were made in order, 1 bipartisan amendment was made in order, and 9 Republican amendments were made in order. And if this isn't bad enough that the Republicans were denied any amendments in the bill that we have before us today, the majority also in this rule has waived the earmark reform rule again. Now, yesterday, when we had the S-chip bill on the floor, there were earmarks in the bill. They weren't disclosed, they weren't outlined, and there was no way for members to get at a debate or an amendment on those earmarks that were in this bill. What assurances do American taxpayers have that there isn't some hidden earmark in this bill that we have today? Because there is no list. But yet, the Rules Committee felt obliged to waive the earmark reform rule that was put in place earlier this year. Now, the problem we have with the underlying rule is really much part of a bigger problem. Last night, our Rules Committee Republicans put together a report outlining the number of closed rules that we've had in this House. I was here in the early 90s demanding that the minority ought to be treated more fairly. And clearly, when Republicans took majority control of this House, it may not have been everything everybody wanted, but there was more democracy on the House than what we've seen this year. And I would just want to implore all of my colleagues that the American people sent us here to work together to solve the problems of this country. And yet, all year, as I put my hand out to try to find a way to work in a bipartisan manner, it gets slapped away. That's not what the American people want of us. It's not what they deserve. And I would ask my colleagues to understand, many of you were here in the minority. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's time to be treating the minority the way you asked to be treated when you were in the minority. And I would ask my colleagues to defeat this rule, send it back to the committee, and let's do this in a fair, bipartisan way that the American people expect of us.